Peace, big love, big blessings, even bigger living, everything that comes with it and everything in between. You are tuned in to Thinking Out Loud with Samuel David. It's just a conversation. And I'm your host, Samuel David. And today I have a special guest. But before we get into my special guest, do me a huge favor. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can stay tapped in and tuned in to Thinking Out Loud. It's really just a space of honesty, transparency, candidacy, empathy, accountability, and leveling up wherever we are in life. All right, enough of all that. Today I got a special guest, as is all guests. All guests are special, but today I got a special guest. This man is a visionary. He's a director, CEO and owner of Drew Vision. I'm talking about a man of true vision, one of my friends since, way back when. A man of God, a man of purpose, a man that walks in excellence on purpose. Brother Troy Andrews, what's happening, family?
How you feeling, man?
Hey, man, I woke up alive. How you doing?
Oh, man. Just blessed, brother. I'm blessed to be here.
I'm glad you're
I'm blessed
here.
to see you. It's
Same.
been a while.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, since we really got to sit down and chop it up and talk just in general.
Real life.
Yeah.
Ooh. So, Troy, my favorite question to jump our conversations off on Thinking Out Loud. How is your spirit?
That's funny. I was going to ask you the same question. My spirit is calm. My spirit is, it's calm. That's the only thing I can, I have no worries.
Yeah.
I've just recognized how blessed and fortunate I am that I have the opportunities that I've been given. And I've had these opportunities, just haven't seized them, Doors that had been open, I walked past. We talk about doors opening and closing.
Yeah.
We don't talk about the doors that we walk past,
Come on.
It doesn't look that appetizing when you walk by it, so you walk by it, you walk past. But now I'm starting to walk through those doors that have been open for me for so long, and just operating off of obedience. So my spirit is calm.
Calm. Man, you said a lot there. You said a lot, Troy. So I got to ask, what is it about right now that's got you open to receive, that's got you open to not walk past these doors, that's got you open to okay, I got to seize these blessings that are right in front of me that I've been passing up? What's changed? What's different in life for you?
I would say truly giving up anxiety. I was worried for so long about everything, like just making my next move, worried about how I'm going to be able to provide for my family, all of that. And that was something I had to go and surrender. I'm on my knees and surrendering to God about what needs to happen so that I don't feel this way. So I don't feel like I'm inadequate. You know what I'm saying? So once I was able to just give that to him and really so when you ask God for something hey, Lord, I don't want to deal with anxiety, or I don't want to deal, can I get some strength? Can you provide wisdom for me? He isn't just, most of the time, he's not just giving it to you. He's going to provide the opportunity for you to gain that, right? So those moments where I'm anxious about things, I get put back in those situations. And he's like, okay, stop worrying about it. Okay, let me do it. Let me deal with it. Give it to me. Okay, this is out of my hands. I can't control what anybody thinks or what anybody feels or what anybody does. Mm-hmm. So I've let things go. And this is a part of the reason why I don't get upset at negative comments about my work. I don't get upset about what people may have to say about me, whatever it is. It doesn't bother me. But I'm also still growing. It's still a learning process, because every now and again I still get upset about certain things. I'm human.
You're human.
Yeah, but nonetheless, man, I'm taking it day by day, and
yeah,
it was that surrender that happened for me.
Ooh. You're saying a lot.
Yeah,
that's powerful. I just heard somebody. I was over over listening to a conversation, and they was like, yo, when you put it in God's hands, you ain't supposed to ask for it back.
Ooh, come
Right.
on, man.
And it sounds like you in that space of, like you said, surrendering, giving it to God,
Yeah.
not worrying about others, their thoughts. Is that challenging? Because we thinking out loud, Troy. I got to
Yeah.
always say that out loud because my
Yeah,
mind be
yeah,
moving
yeah.
a million miles per hour after I hear a little bit. But is it challenging to walk in that level of faith, dealing with people on the daily, especially as a director, right? Where your voice is powerful, where your voice has to resonate to get others to see your vision, right? Do you find challenges in that space?
I do. I do, because when I entered into this, I was everybody's friend first, and then I was a director. You
Yeah.
know, I'm like, I care about your feelings. I care about what you think and how your performance was or whatever. And after I considered my own walk, faith, feelings,
Yeah.
in understanding that it's okay that I put the oxygen mask on me first.
Come on now.
After that, I'm done. Like it's okay that, all right, you feel this way, but you know, I invited you here, and if you don't fit, I mean, it's okay if you leave.
Yeah.
You know, it's not personal for me in that manner.
That's
So
right. And that's got to be a challenge, right? Because
Yeah.
it's everything is so close. Like I said, people start as your friends, and I'm sure there's still a level of friendship that you want to retain, even
Absolutely.
post working, while
Absolutely.
working, even. But everything is connected. I know your cousin works close with you.
Yes.
Wifey work with you. Like, it's so many. So I can only imagine trying to balance all those personalities while making sure you breathing.
Yeah.
With your mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know what I learned recently is that I'm a lot of people's comfort. So if I'm in the space, they feel comforted, they feel safe, they feel like, okay, I can be more open about things right now. So, you know, I allow them, and I do create those spaces. It's the times when it's like my turn to have a space, or it's like, okay, hey, I got this deal or this project that I'm working on, and I would love for you to be a part of it. They take on, you know, the relationship that we have and bring it into, you know, that business side of things. And you know, it can get a little muddy, it can get a little cloudy, because now my thinking isn't the same. It's not about like, oh, okay, like I do care about how you feel.
Word.
However, I'm also being obedient to what God has called me to do, my purpose.
Yeah.
And just because you feel like, you know, and this is just examples,
For
but
sure.
if you feel like your character should be more, you know, bossy, well, I wrote it for it to be, she's supposed to be timid.
Yeah.
I don't want your character to be bossy. Hey, like I said, you can bust a move. This isn't for you, but I have to be obedient to what I'm being called to do.
For sure.
You know,
Staying steadfast in the vision, on the mission.
yeah,
Whew, directors don't have it easy. That's
No.
why I love to operate in like a singular space.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I'm the talent, I'm the actor, I'm the host, wherever I'm at. Like, team building is dope. I love it. But managing teams, managing personalities, while catering to personalities, while staying steadfast on the vision. So if somebody come to you with a rewrite, you like, nah, this ain't where we at.
I have to be real. I gotta keep it real.
Yeah.
As much as I know it'll probably hurt you that I said no, and that's another thing too. I learned that my no affects a lot of people too. When I say no, it's like ended or like hindered friendships or changed friendships or relationships I've had with people because I said no about something, and I still haven't figured that one out yet.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm going to be saying no a lot more, especially as I continue to grow and understand my purpose. If that doesn't align with the purpose God has for me, it's no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of this happening right now where I'm
I
just
can imagine it.
I'm realizing like, okay, yeah, that person may not be, you know, fit for whatever's happening in my life this season right now. And I have to be okay with it, because a lot of times I have been like, well, let me try to accommodate them
Okay.
in my life and I will still like take food off my plate and feed them because I see that you're hungry or you need this or try this. you know, and I come back to my plate and I'm just like, you know,
I'm hungry.
like,
I'm famished.
or I'm pouring out of my cup, and I come back and I'm just like, whoa, yeah. So I can't have that anymore. I can't do it. And that's me protecting myself. And that's a part of my growth, and if it offends anybody, so be it.
The no thing.
Yes.
Royce
Yeah.
Stevenson, one of my great friends, we had a conversation one time and we were talking about the power of no. And nobody ever asks for an explanation on your yes. But that no comes with, why not? Why? Like, just respect my no. Respect
Yes.
my boundaries. And I'm hearing you talk about a lot about the boundaries. And I think that's so key when you gathering so many different energies, when you pushing out different energies. How do you find your peace? How do you find your time to keep your cup full? Like, you're a black man, you're a married man, you're a man, you're a person, you're human, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's one of the challenges we face as leaders, right? Is making sure our cup is full. So how do you keep your cup full?
Daily, I have to take moments, at least an hour, to myself. And sometimes it's in the morning, sometimes it's in the evening. But I get so caught up in the daily routine, and I know I got calls, I got meetings, I got edits, I got stuff I got to get done. And I have to take an hour. I don't care what's going on. I have to take an hour to not listen to anything, not hear anything, not look at my phone. And I will just sit there in silence. And then after that, for me, I pray. And I'm like any example of Jesus that I'm reading about in the Word for that last 30 minutes is what's really keeping me grounded and keeping me or allowing me to find that peace. You know what else was understanding fully that I am not perfect or untouchable.
Oh, that second one. Come
Yeah.
on, talk to me. Talk to me.
Because see, there's times where like you'll have a streak of just like, you'll just feel like, yo, I just can't lose right now.
Yeah.
Like these blessings is flowing in from everywhere.
Losing count.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it's just like if you're not careful, you will develop a sense of like arrogance and like you'll become conceited and you'll feel like you're above everyone else. You'll feel like you're above just people. And
you found yourself in that space?
I found myself in that space at one point.
Yeah.
This was a while back. This was before anything's been happening with filmmaking, like, currently with my current films out. But I was just like, yo, I'm good. Like I be right often, and like I'm filming things. I'm like, yo, I can't miss.
Yeah.
And yeah, God has an interesting way of humbling
Come on.
those hearts. Like you call yourself a child of mine, you follow my son, the example of my son, and you out here just, so you as good as my son is what you're saying right now. And not necessarily in my mind was I thinking that, but
For sure.
it like, how dare I think that like I can't be touched, that I won't fall. And the good thing is that I recognized it and I realized, well, let me be honest, my wife helped me recognize that.
Shout out to the queen. Yeah.
Pinky recognized that, and when I tell you, that's where the humility became very apparent, and it set in, and I'm like, dang, like what you don't want to be is a public success and a private failure. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, that looks good over there, Troy. That looks good. Hey, now let's talk about finances. Let's talk about taking care of things over here in the house. Let's talk about us real quick. Yeah, because all that looks nice.
Yeah.
But
so what was that moment of humility? Because I hear you explaining like the repercussions of it. Like the recognizing, okay, this is why it happened. But what was the moment of humility for you?
The moment of humility. You ask him like, how did it feel, or like what was happening? What was
happened?
that?
Yeah.
Oh,
What was that moment?
yeah.
Oh, snaps. I'm him, but I'm not him. Like, what told you that?
Yeah.
And I ask that because I've
Yes.
had similar moments with humility. I don't think it stops.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh
And I
man.
can pinpoint different ones, right? Like
Yeah.
I would share that, I was practicing 5%er. Black
Yeah.
man is God. I am God. All of
Yeah.
that, right? And
Uh,
then I lost two of the closest people to me in life.
mm,
And I said, I don't control none of this shit.
yeah.
Real life, excuse my language,
That's
right?
the truth. Yeah.
But in that moment of grief and that moment of mortality,
Hmm.
I recognized, okay, let me sharpen up a little bit in the way that
Yeah.
I'm viewing a lot of these things. Some
Yeah.
pieces of it I still believe, but the God part, like,
Hmm.
yo, let's get it together, son. So,
Yeah.
but I share that. Like, what
Yeah.
was your moment?
My moment was, believe it or not, which like this doesn't really happen to me often. And I remember there was a moment where I just never understood how this happens to people. But I slipped into like a small moment of depression
Okay.
out of nowhere. I had like nothing to do. I had no work. I had no gigs. And like I had no phone calls, no meetings. I wasn't busy. And I felt very inadequate. Like I felt like nobody needed me. And it's just I finished all my work. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is weird. I'm searching YouTube. There's nothing to watch. You know, I'm going I'm looking for stuff to do around the house and there's like nothing to do. And yeah, that bout of depression lasted about like 16 hours.
Mm.
And that was when I went to my wife and I'm like,
Okay.
I don't know what's going on. Like, got all this stuff happening. I got that. I got a new truck. I got, whatever it may be. And she's just like, the thing is, Troy, you've put yourself here. You've allowed people to put you here, and you accepted it that you are on this pedestal, that you are this guy. Realistically, with everyone else.
Mm.
You're you're just really good at what you do. I'm telling you, oh goodness, it's a slippery slope
Yeah.
by smelling your roses and smelling them good, like walking in them and smelling them every day. And yeah, that smells good. Oh yeah, that was a good video right there. Oh yeah, that was a good moment. I'm glad I
Dapping
captured
yourself
that.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah. All of
and
that. Yeah.
it's like, yo, who's colder than this? And I mean, this is all internal, but I won't even project that out, out loud. But that reminds me, um, the Bible says when you go to heaven, you know, God is looking at your heart.
Mm.
He will say, son, I did not know you because you did not know me.
Word.
I don't know who you are,
Yeah.
and I didn't act like it internally. He's checking my heart. You guys will see, okay, no, Troy, he got his stuff going.
You out here faking.
But that's literally it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even a representative, because that's not even the truth. I'm faking.
Mm. One of my favorite Kendrick Lamar quotes, he say, I know if I'm generous at heart, I don't need recognition. The way I'm rewarded, that's God's decision. And I believe every parable, every verse in the Bible translates into some form of literature in some way, shape, or form. But that's one of my favorites because I found myself in that same space before.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, I'm him.
Yeah.
Like, can't nobody tell me nothing. Then it's like, oh, I ain't doing enough.
Exactly.
I got more to do. Right? It's something I always tell my kids, and I talk to myself when I talk to my kids. But it's like, yo, some people gonna love you, some people gonna hate you. You can't believe everybody. And when you walk in so much power and in a gift that's not yours, it's given to you.
Yes.
Right? It's like you said, that slippery slope when you get to like, yo, this is all me.
Yeah.
Like, yo, it's a higher power at work, like moving through you. So stay on purpose. Hold on, Troy, you got me feeling it. All right.
Come on, man. Come on.
So kind of in that same lane, right?
Yeah.
And looking at walking in purpose. Directing
Yes.
videos, directing movies, directing people.
Yeah.
How did you stumble across that passion? And do you feel like it's your purpose?
I'll answer the second one first. Yes, I do. I know it's my purpose. And this is something I've been wanting to do since I was like 5 or 6
Yeah.
years old. It's like I can vividly remember Back to the Future, the second one, part two, and how in my brain as a 5 year old, it was a masterpiece.
Word.
Yes, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, masterpiece as a 6 year old, you know. And I'm like, I want to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. I want to be Michael J. Fox, but I also want to be Robert Zemeckis and Steven Spielberg behind the camera. I also want to be, you know, like that's what I was thinking back then as a kid. I used to say, I'm going to act and direct my own films as a kid.
Yeah.
So the thing is, as I got older, and even, you know, growing up California, there's a lot of people that are around your neighborhood or your city or your school, acting or in theater and things like that. I was one of those kids. Moving to Kansas, getting into more into theater here in college, and kind of stepped away from it. And the thing is, I never stopped using a camera. I never stopped. Like, I started using a camera when I was 15, and you know, I just loved doing it. I loved filming everything.
Yeah.
Then when I got to once I got to a space in my life, I was about 26, 27. I was like, you know, I'm gonna buy my own camera. You know, I don't know. I want to do short films.
Yeah.
And so that was about 2015. I'm like, okay, this is it. This is it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
So what happened in 2015?
2015, I bought my camera and I started doing my skits.
Okay.
And from there, I went from skits to a podcast. I don't know how that happened.
That's fair. Well, I was a rapper, and now I'm
Yeah.
doing interviews, so I get it. It's purpose.
Yes, for sure. And those were, you know what, not even realizing those were things I needed to learn, because if I didn't learn podcasting and audio and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know how to be, you know, how to edit audio. And now, granted, it's like different for film and video, but it's also not like it's all relative.
Foundational pieces to it.
For sure.
Yeah.
So it also taught me to have conversations with people, because for me, I found myself to be a little bit of an introvert.
Okay.
And, you know, once I started inviting people over and having conversations and, you know, moving about, now I can move in the community and talk to people. And needless to say, now I do a little less talking. And the reason is because I want to listen. I like to hear what people's life stories are. And, you know, I don't know. It's so weird. I don't want to say it's weird, but it's like,
It's you.
yeah,
It's your thing. Yeah.
I like to hear what people go through or how they deal with certain things, whether it's good or bad, because the life experience for everyone is different. Mine, you know, I grew up in a 2-parent household, brothers and sisters. Everybody was playing sports, but everybody was still different. And
Yeah.
you know, but then, you know, I got a friend who lives with it. You know, it's just him and his mom and his younger brother. And I got a friend who, you know, his father died in war or in the military or something like that overseas. And, you know, like, everybody's dealing with something different. And now, like, I've drawn inspiration not only for films, but for I've drawn appreciation for life through other people's walks, because now I'm like, I didn't have to go through that.
Yeah.
You know, now I understand how thankful I am. Like, I recognize how thankful I am. Because, yeah. Ooh, I wouldn't know what it would feel like to lose a parent yet, or, you know, especially at a young age. I wouldn't know how to handle that.
Word.
I wouldn't know what it would be like to, you know, dirty rings around the tub. You feel me? Like, because my mama didn't play that.
Word.
But no, like, you know, like, not that we didn't have to struggle. My parents just didn't let us know when they were struggling. So, but we didn't feel it. So to me, we didn't struggle growing up, you know, not like that. And I have an appreciation for people who persevered through that. My wife being one of those people who persevered through, you know, her childhood. And, you know, now that I'm in the space for picking up a camera and being able to tell a story,
Yeah.
man, it's a whole different ballpark for me, a whole different game now.
Because there's power in people,
Yes.
power in conversation,
Yeah.
and there's so much power in perspective.
Yes.
And you got the joy, privilege, maybe even responsibility now, right? Of telling stories behind the lens.
Yeah.
Right. Respectable stories behind the lens. I'm looking at your shirt, Kingdom Over Culture, even, right?
Yes,
And knowing
yes.
how rooted you are in faith.
Yes.
How do you navigate the entertainment scene, right? Entertainment
Yes.
space, entertainment world, because it's nasty.
Oh yeah.
It can be for sure. It doesn't have to be, but it can be pretty
Yeah.
nasty, right?
Oh,
How
yeah.
do you navigate that while staying dead fast? Like, yo, I'm Kingdom Over the Culture.
Yeah. For me, it's obedience. Being bold. I had to learn to be bold about my faith. You know,
Okay.
before it was like, oh yeah, if it comes up, I'll talk to them and let them know why I stand, in my faith. And, God didn't call me to be bashful about my faith. He called me to be bold.
100.
So, stepping into this space, I know how dark it is. I know how lonely it can get, how dirty it is.
Yeah.
But, you know, Christ is all light, and that's who I follow. Christ is clean, you know. Christ is hope, and taking him with me as I step into this arena, I got to make sure my team is seeing the same thing that I'm seeing, believing the same thing that I'm believing,
Yeah.
so that when we do these things, when we get to make these films, it's not just being, the internal is just being affected, but everything outside of that, all the people that are viewing it, now every film that I do, Christ is going to be in the film.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? There's going to be something that will, revert back to my faith in the film. And, that's virtually how I'm able to just kind of navigate through this. I'm just trusting in the Lord.
Wow.
He gave me the vision, and he gave it to me in 2021. And that was one of the first times in years that I shed a tear. I cried. I'm like, this is the first time and the clearest I've ever heard God's voice. And I wrote down that vision that he gave me on 3 pages of my spiral notebook. And it's, to me, don't get choked up.
Come on.
But like the Bible,
Talk to me.
like the Bible, there's things that are, that have come to pass that the Lord said would pass. And looking at my journal, of all the things that he told me, those are things that are coming to pass little by little. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And that just assured me that was his voice.
Yeah.
So, I can't worry about the dark when I'm covered in the light.
Bars. Bars.
I didn't even mean for it to come out like that, but
I love that. And I
Yeah.
think, again, there's that joy in being able to shed that light, right? Especially in your role as a leader, as a director. Like,
Yeah.
you really, sometimes in the moment, you don't realize how impactful you are to others, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Walking in God's image, in God's word, right? Like,
Yes.
it shows up in
Yeah.
other people, like you mentioned, people come to you, right? And they dump in all of they, but that's because you got a light around you, right? You got a light inside you. So
Yeah.
that's,
yeah.
ooh.
Yeah, I remember you were one of the first people that told me, like, Troy, when I talk to you, like, afterward, I'm so inspired
Yeah.
to, like, just move and then get things going. And that really made me happy. Every time you've told me that. Then I heard it so many times from other people. And I'm like, okay, God, I don't even know what to say. I'm just going to keep doing what you told me to do. I'm just keep doing
Yeah.
it. Just keep going. And, I want to make sure that the world knows that I have a heart for Christ, and I can't do this without him, period. I know that everything, some of the stuff that I do is cool, or it's engaging, it's catching people's attention.
For sure.
But, ultimately, it's about the kingdom.
100%. I love it. Oh,
Yeah.
You got my spirit moving.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
but like I think it's important because when you dope, right?
Yeah.
when you recognize what God is giving you and you're not using it for yourself, and you see that light in others, you got to share it with them. So that's why
Yes.
when a quote I always use is like, "Who saved Superman?" Right? But I recognize my dopeness,
Yeah.
right? And when you see dopeness in others, it's inspiring.
Yes.
It's like it's moving, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
a lot of times it's easy to kind of going back to what you mentioned earlier. It's so easy to, for when you win it, others either think it's easy and they want to replicate it,
Yes. That's
but
a fact.
they not walking the same path as you,
Right.
or they see you win and they feel like, oh, you don't need nothing, you good,
Yeah.
like so.
Yeah.
Just thinking out loud, talking a lot about like seeds.
Yes.
The movie's dark.
Yes.
2 million views, by the way.
Yes. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That don't come easy.
No.
It's a lot of work. What inspired, and you don't got to spoil it, because I know those 2 million people have watched it. Plus,
Yes.
we don't want to spoil it, of course, right? But what inspired the theme of seeds?
Too many of my brothers get into relationships so fast without doing like the proper, I don't want to say research, but they're not taking their time and allowing something to be organic. They're forcing relationships. So when you get into a relationship and you start finding things out little by little, and it just gets rougher and rougher and it gets harder, but you're so infatuated with this person, you're willing to like risk it all.
Yeah.
That's an issue. That's an issue for yourself. You have to be able to self-reflect when you get the opportunity to leave the situation. You should leave. And you watch it. You watch this film and you recognize there's a guy who, he's a player. It's a synopsis, but he's kind of a, he's a player. He does what he does, and he's accomplished. He got a good job, and he's an accomplished man, right?
Yeah.
So, but he can't really find the one like that. So he sees, this beautiful woman, and she locks eyes with him, and now he's smitten, and now he can't get her out of his head, and but one thing after another, out of that closet, out of that suitcase, them skeletons just keep coming out, and there's red flags everywhere.
Yeah, and his man's is even like,
Yes.
yeah.
It's like, bro.
I've been married 13 years. Sorry, I'm thinking.
Congratulations, by the way.
13
Happy
years. Thank
anniversary.
you. I appreciate that.
Yes.
How long have you been married?
10.
10 years. Congratulations.
Thank
10
you.
years is serious. And then hearing the theme of the movie, as a married brother, how ill is it like giving game or advice or insights to single friends?
Ooh.
You feel me? Like, I
Yeah.
don't have a lot of single friends personally.
Yeah.
But I do see the landscape of like relationship, the balance between men and like women these days. And it's like, yo, something's off. Y'all losing the recipes, y'all losing the plot.
Yeah.
Like, and like I said, hearing the plot of seeds, right? That came from a place. So like,
Yes.
married man, like what's that look like?
Oh man, it's very difficult. It's very they don't understand up front what it means to commit right now. Like, people are committing with limits. Like, they're committing with, stipulations.
Conditional commitment.
Like, either you're committed or you're not committed, man. Just you
Yeah.
go all in and you take what she got and deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Or get through it, or go do something different. Don't be committed.
Yeah.
But it's difficult for my talking to my single brothers, man. Just trying to encourage them and let them know, like, there's a lot of pride and ego, because a lot of these men, even like, oh goodness, a lot of these men are entitled to what they should receive from their women, from their wives, from their relationships. they're entitled, and that's the challenge is a lot of stuff isn't dealt with or talked about, discussed up front, and they deal with it once they get married. And it's like, man, y'all done been married 2-3 months and you're ready to call it quits because she don't like that you do this, and you don't like that, you know, she missed your phone call today and didn't talk to you until she got home, or, you know, oh man, you have a long healing process after she leaves and is happy in her next situation because you dealing with something small. I'm serious, like but it's just, I don't know, something went wrong somewhere.
Something went wrong. I don't know where.
They ain't making them like they used to.
Like, bro, it's ill though, because I think to a lot of things, not just relationships, but it feels like a lot of now. We talked about commitment. People run away from that commitment. Like, yo, I'm committed to growing with this person.
Yes.
I'm committed to growing in my relationship with the Spirit. I'm committed to growing in this professional space. Like, people are shying away from growing with. Everything is like microwave. Like, yo, 30 seconds and I'm good.
Yeah.
No, you got to put the work in.
Literally.
And the work is not easy. The work is ugly. The work stinks. Right? The work is crap, right?
You don't feel like doing hurts. It, you know, sometimes it hurts,
But it's never a time where the work is not worth it.
Yes.
Even if the situation doesn't work, the work is never worthless.
That's heavy right there.
I've been in the gym.
Yeah. That's heavy. No, that's real.
It's real.
Yeah.
Like, because you walk away better. You walk away from whatever situation better than you were. So that's the way I think. I believe. That's what I know.
Yeah.
From personal experience. We talked a little about the seeds. Big Dog.
Yeah.
Newest film. The trailer was crazy.
That trailer's wild.
Like, the trailer was amazing.
That trailer's wild, yeah.
And you just did a casting call for Snooze.
Yes.
When do you sleep?
That's the thing.
Okay.
Because you kind of alluded to it before, just like work. I kind of forget what you said, but you alluded to it. I do sleep, guys. I do get rest. I make it look easy. That's what you said.
Yes.
You make it look like you just are moving, right? I learned the value in a schedule.
Come on, real life.
And a good team, a team that everyone says they have the best team, but I have the best team because they hold me accountable and they double check and triple check everything. Yo, Troy, are we doing this? What time are we doing this? Okay, do we need to get this? Do we need to pick this up? What are we doing? So I have a good team. But this has been something that is, like, for me, like, if sleep wasn't a thing, like, oh no, man, I'm up all day. I will do this. You know what? I've actually, just on the subject of sleep, I've learned to actually shut my brain down, like stop thinking about all that stuff.
Yeah.
And like, I get 7.5 hours of sleep, 8 hours of sleep almost nightly. But yeah, no, man, I'm moving. I know how to compartmentalize. I know how to think about something or work on something for 2 hours and then work on something else for another 2 hours and then take a break and then get back to it. I'm without even knowing, I've mastered compartmentalizing and spacing out my time for certain things so I don't burn myself out.
Yeah.
You know, Big Dog was one of those things where I got offered an opportunity to make a trailer.
Okay.
And I'm glad I got to showcase it for the Blackout Awards, Blackout ICT. Shout out to those ladies.
100%. 100%.
Beautiful show this year too.
Shout out to the host. Shout out to the ladies. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the city. Keep going. I'll stay there. Keep going.
But I had the opportunity to make a trailer. So, I hit up the actors, and one of my things is diversifying. So I'm gonna mix it up. I'm gonna have some different colors in there. I'm gonna have some different types of people. And I hit up Dre K. Meyer, and I was like, bro, there's an opportunity to like work together and shoot something again because we hadn't worked together in years. And he was like, all right, bet, let's do it. So got with him.
I love Dre.
Yeah.
I just had to say it. I was trying to debate if I was going to say it out loud.
Say it out loud,
I had
man.
to say it. I love Dre.
That's my guy, man.
That's my brother.
We had a heart-to-heart a little bit ago, and you know, some tears were shed, and like, that's my guy, man.
100%.
That's my guy. So we got together, we got to work on this, and you know, oh goodness, it turned out so good. I hated that he couldn't edit it, but it didn't matter. It worked out good. I edited and put it together, and it was beautiful. So now we're on the snooze, and you know, we got the cast together. We had a real audition. I keep saying real, like of course I had a real audition, but for the people, they've never been on a real audition. The actors,
like actual casting calls.
yeah,
Like, yeah.
they're like, oh yeah, man, this was professional, and I wasn't there. I was on my anniversary vacation,
Congrats
so
again.
thank you.
Yes.
But my team put it on. They got the building, they got the waters, and they all had radios on, and you know, and they watched all 50 some auditions or whatever, and went about their business.
Yeah.
It might have been like 40 something, but still, like it was awesome. Then we had callbacks, and then I popped up at the callbacks.
Okay.
So that kind of made everybody's nerves rattle. But yo, the talent we actually have here in Wichita is crazy. It's crazy.
Bro, and I have to salute you
Yes.
and Bray.
Yes.
Like you and Devon Bray for two things.
Yes.
And I'll throw Nana in for this part.
Yeah.
The way that y'all create teams and the way that you allow your team to function is, again, a true sign of leadership, a true sign of having folks bought into the vision, and that's why you're able to do such dope things.
Yeah.
When I look at what you and Bray are doing in the film space, bro, y'all are providing a platform like that I don't know has ever been in the city. I could be wrong, but I've never seen a space where so many people have an opportunity to be an actor,
Yeah.
to have their movie in prime locations.
Yeah.
Unintended, right? From
Yeah,
Amazon
yeah.
Prime to Tubi.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
salute to y'all. Like, that's major. That's like
Thank you.
often talk about a Black Renaissance, but y'all are really, y'all at the forefront of that. And that's not
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
Like, that's not easy at all.
Yeah.
When we talk team and putting that team together, how hard is it to get, and we've talked a little bit about it already, but how hard is it to get the team to truly see the vision on top of whatever they're working on individually, right? Vision wise, because sometimes it might not intersect, right? Like, bro, how does that work? How do you get the team built to see the vision so far?
They don't see it up at first, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
And there's a lot of, it has to be built off trust. So I say, y'all got to trust me. All right, y'all got to trust me. And it's a lot of their own opinions and things like that. But the thing is, they're strong in their fields. They're strong in their positions,
Word.
you know, and where I put them. I love the quote that Steve Jobs made when he said, you know, I don't hire smart people to tell them what to do. I hire smart people to tell me what to do, right?
Yeah.
So I hire these people who are, you know, great at what they do. Paris Jane is great. Like, she is a brilliant mind.
100%.
So she knows what a story is supposed to sound like, look like, feel like. So shout out to Micah Dennis, who got to work on this script and went crazy. Paris will go back and, I mean, pick it apart, be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, we can fix all this. We can get it together. We all work together and take care of it. But like someone like that, you know, that's a specialty right there. You don't find a lot of people that can do that, but you get her in that position. And if I'm like, okay, I don't want to change that in the script, she might be like, I don't know, Troy, that might be a little, and I'm just like, trust me.
Yeah.
And then we see the results, and you know, you look at the seeds, and it's like, okay, you trust me? All right, y'all just trust me. So when I cast certain people, you know, in this film, I casted people that, you know, some of the team was just like, are you sure? We watched the audition. We was here. Are you sure? Y'all just trust me, okay?
Trust me. Trust me. Yeah.
Trust me. Alex Nellums, Alexandria. That was her first movie ever. She has zero acting, anything, training, nothing. And I told her in 2022, I said, you're going to star in my first movie. I didn't know what it was going to be, but you're going to be the lead in my first movie.
So you told me that before too, Troy?
I did. We ain't got to your movie yet. We just ain't got to it yet.
That's fair. No, I had to at least once during the interview.
That's
Throw that out
okay.
there.
That's okay. I genuinely have not forgotten about it. But yeah, but she showed up and showed out, and the team, of course, they're just like, okay, nah, we riding with you, Troy. So
Word.
building a team, they're not like initially, they're excited to be there, but they may not even see the vision yet. I feel like every day we work on this, and they get to see like the results of things. They're starting to see it, and they're starting to believe it. Ultimately, I know it's like it's on me to make sure I follow the vision that God gave me for this and continue moving in the right direction. My whole goal is to get families back in the living room to watch TV together. I'm serious. That is my real goal.
Yeah.
So The Seeds is something like, it's a thriller, but it's also a thriller that I feel like your family can watch, like you and your teenage kids can watch at least.
100%.
We can get in here and we can watch a movie together. The rom-com, you can get your family in there and watch Big Dog. That's gonna be fun.
Okay.
Let's get the family in there and watch it. Blair, we gonna see. Blair is a little.
Blair's a little different.
It's a psychological thriller.
Okay.
But
Okay.
we dropped that trailer, when we dropped The Seeds. Yeah. So that one, I think you'll still be able to watch it with your family. It's more so, the story I want to tell, because it might really hit some people deep down. Like, ooh, might touch on some stuff that people are a little weary on about mental health.
Okay.
So
I love that. I love that. I'm in Troy at work, man. Listen, like I had Pooh Hefner on the show,
yes.
and great conversation, of course. He says, you know what, Sam, people be like, and I'm misquoting him, but it's like, people be like, why ain't you in no Bray film yet? Why ain't in no Troy Andrews film yet?
Yeah.
I said, it's my man's.
Yeah.
I don't know. I said something else. I'm sure I've slept since then.
Yeah.
But I definitely, I had to ask, right? Pooh Hef.
Yeah.
Just because I had him on the show, I got to ask. Why ain't he in no films?
He is. He's in The Seeds.
Oh, say less. Is he really?
He is. He's in the background.
Okay.
He is. Okay, listen.
You heard it here, Pooh. You are indeed in The Seeds. You just forgot that you was in the background.
He forgot. Wait till the behind the scenes come out, because he in there. He all in the behind the scenes. Yeah. He was he had just got out, and we had already cast it and all that, and he in there, but no, we had auditions for Snooze. The truth is, I got an idea for a film for Pooh. I do have an idea to get him in something that it's gonna be dope, bro.
You heard it, Pooh. Troy got you.
And now it's on public record now.
It's on record. I might even use this as the
now
intro.
I gotta follow up. I gotta keep my word.
Gotta do it.
Yeah. He's coming. He's coming. Y'all get ready. He actually called me. Was it today or yesterday? I think he called me yesterday, and we were doing the table read, and I couldn't. We were signing paperwork. It was a lot. I got you, Pooh. I got you, bro.
Okay, I'm glad I got that out there.
Thank you.
Look at the world. Look at the way the energy works. Okay, couple more questions, and then I'm gonna let you go, Troy. And this is kind of doubling back down on your faith.
Yeah.
Right, doubling back down in the spiritual space, and knowing that, and you can share if you want to, if you don't. Right. I know that you work at and attend a church that is multicultural.
Yeah.
What is that like in today's climate of the world? Right, where you might be in a space spiritually with people who, of course, are on the same terms as you religiously, but as you navigate the world spaces, they may not navigate, subscribe to, agree with your world that you occupy daily as a black man, right?
I see.
And I tried to make that sound cute. As a black man going to a church that is a white pastor, almost primarily white, right? In today's world and what we deal with on the daily, what is that like? Obviously from a spiritual standpoint,
yes,
and a flesh standpoint.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So spiritually, I in my mind, I'm like, we all should be on the same page, spiritually. So just being here, and I know that my upbringing in in this faith as a Christian, it is probably a little more, that sounds crazy. It's probably a little more spiritual than what they're used to. You know, like it, you know, it, there are some like cultural differences as far as like, oh no, I felt the spirit on that. You know, they don't, you know, a lot of them don't.
Okay.
That's not something that they're just like, oh, you felt this. What does that mean?
What does
You
that
know,
mean? Yeah.
yeah. But you know, I've taken it for myself as a challenge to like to introduce them to what I know or how I worship or you know something like that. Like we had a situation where you know I'm getting B-roll at an event, right? I'm just getting B-roll at an event, and I accidentally stood in front of one of the cameras. It was an accident, but I completely forgot that I was standing in front of the camera because I was waiting for someone to pass me. But I'm listening to the music, and I just started feeling the Holy Spirit. And I was just like, yo, and I was just praising the Lord right there. And it was for like a minute or two. And then, you know, they changed the song. And then I realized I was like, oh, I'm standing in front of the camera. And, you know, I turn around, they're all laughing, you know, they're
Yeah.
kind of giggling. But the director was like, watch the cameras. You need to watch the cameras. And I just like smiled at her and I just kept, I just went back to doing what I was doing because I can't change my direction or adjust how I worship for your, like, that was one y'all got 3 or 4 other cameras out here, switch to the other ones, you know,
Yeah.
and that's, forgive me, you know, show me some grace, but whatever. Now, like in the physical space, you know, of all of this, like it can, it can be like a little bit challenging sometimes.
I mean,
Yeah.
I attended on 4th of July weekend,
Yes. Oh yeah.
and I was like, I can't go back.
Yeah. Oh.
It felt weird, right? Like the American,
Mm-hmm.
it was just weird, right? And I want to be respectful to that to the church, but it was like, yo, we was
Yeah.
damn near worshiping America,
Yeah.
right?
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, like yo, I won't be back.
I don't know if I was there for that service. Yeah, there's
So that's what like things like that, like and I've been I've been a part of a church too who shared a space with a primarily white congregation, and it's just different. So
yeah. Yeah, you know, yeah. No.
Yeah.
Let's just say I fully understand where you're coming from.
For sure,
And
for sure.
there have been conversations being had about, you know, just you know, there's conversations being had
yeah,
for the most part. I can just say that, you know.
say less.
Yeah.
No, I'm tracking. Like I said, I that's why I had to ask early. Who's going to
Thank
talk
you.
about it. For sure.
I appreciate you asking because
Yes.
I know you're not the only person who's thinking that, you know.
For
There's
sure.
people internally that are you know, having I say internally, but actually go to the church
Yeah.
that look like us that, you know, hey, quick question, man. You know, I got a question. What's going on? You we do anything about Juneteenth? Do we do anything with, you know, MLK or, you know,
Yeah.
like you guys they want more of us there, but they don't really celebrate us. And, you know, those are conversations that need to be had, you know. I know that just working with them, like, man, a lot of these people are like, they're great people, man.
Word.
They mean well. I do know like it isn't because of just what they've been doing for years. It still doesn't like cross their mind. Oh wait, we got 4th of July weekend. Let's hurry up and let's get this. Let's, you know, make sure we can honor the military, or let's make sure whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And once again, it's a cultural difference because in our churches we don't do that. You know, that's 4th of July. We're not. I don't think we do anything for 4th of July in our churches. You know what I'm
It
saying?
turned into praise America
Yeah.
in that joint. I was
Yeah.
like, yo.
Oh man.
But okay.
Yeah.
All right. Gotta ask. It's one of my favorite questions to ask on the show, Troy. What would you've been married 10 years?
Yes, sir.
So I love to find time point in lives, what would Troy today tell Troy 10 years ago in any facet of life?
You worry about the wrong things. You worry about a lot of stuff that is so not important.
And
I would encourage you to let stuff go that you can't control. You can't control what they think. You can't control what they feel. And you can't control what they do. Let it go.
yeah,
Move forward. Yeah. If I could have told him that at the beginning, I mean, you know, yeah. He'd probably be a lot like, there probably would have been moments in the marriage where, you know, mentally or emotionally, let's say that emotionally, he could have been able to be available and he would have been way more emotionally secure, you know, to deal with a lot of things, whether it was with his wife or whether it was with finances or it was with people. Ooh, man, that's such a great question, man. I love that question. Yeah, you worry too much. And like worry gets you absolutely nowhere. It actually sinks you.
come on.
I wouldn't want someone who got married at 25 to be, and I don't necessarily feel like this, but like I wouldn't want someone who got married at 25 to feel like they're just now getting their legs up under them at 35. That is how I feel.
Okay.
If I'm being honest.
Word.
That is. You have to be able to understand that you have to let go of the things you can't control, period. You got to give that to God. And what does giving it to God mean? That means actually understanding that you have no control over any of this. I can't make my wife make my peanut butter and jelly sandwich the way that my mom made it when I went to elementary school. You put too much jelly on it. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I can't make my friends, you know, I can't make them see my faith the way that I see my faith, or have a relationship with Christ the way I have a relationship with him. You know, I can't do that. I can't make my the camera operators that work with me see what I see when I see it. You know, so film it the way I film it. I can't make them do that. No, I can only be an example. And if people take the example, that's great. If they don't, that's still great. You know, that's their walk.
Yeah.
I can't make anybody do anything around me. I'm not in control of everything that's around me or anything that's around me. That's why I had anxiety.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to control my environment. That's why I always had barbecues and parties at my own house and in my own spaces, because I can control my environment. That's why I stayed out of downtown early, because I couldn't control those environments. I didn't know who was going to fight. I didn't know who was going to pull out a gun. And I'm still a little bit like that, but I'm getting better at being a little more social. Like blackout was a big step for me.
Word.
I hadn't been out since the last blackout.
Literally and figuratively, because
Yeah.
you was out there stepping. You was out there stepping.
Oh, shout out to my wife, because that's her song, bro.
Okay.
On my mama, on my hood. She immediately went, I'm like, she can't do that by herself. Let me get out there. And yo, like we turned up and we had a good time.
I love it.
So, yeah, I absolutely would tell him that you worry too much. You need to let it go.
That's a word even now.
Yeah,
Like, because I would tell myself that some days.
yeah,
I tell myself that some days. I tell my kids that some days, right? Because I think as people, we naturally want to be in control of our environment. We want to have some type of influence over
Yes.
the world around us. And a thing I used to do is like when you put your thumb out and you move it around, like this is your world moving, but there's so much of a world around you that you have no control over. Maybe a sliver of influence,
yes,
but this is your world,
yeah,
and you the main character here. But you might be a supporting cast member, co-star,
right,
non-playable character,
extra.
extra. You feel me? In the
Right.
other spaces, so like you can only control what you control, and that is how you act and how
Yeah.
you react.
Yes.
And if you find solace in that, you win in life. And I'm saying it out loud to myself, even if I say it just.
Yes.
All right, so Troy, I'm excited. I'm eager for everything you got coming up.
Thank you, man.
I don't put dates on a lot of things on this show.
Yeah.
But I definitely know folks better go watch Seeds if they have not
Please.
on YouTube.
Please.
Big Dog, when's Big Dog dropping?
Oh man. We that's a great question. 2025 for sure.
All
Yes, 2025. It's dropping 2025. We just got a lot that's in motion before we can get that ready to go, because that's not going to be something that we just give to, the distributor without, we looking for a deal. Let's say that.
I like the energy, everything on purpose, in purpose.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Before we part, you got any parting words?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a parting word. Goodness. Breathe. Literally. A lot of things and a lot of health issues, a lot of mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, damaging and pain that we deal with all comes, like it's all going to come in life. But God gave us breath this morning. We can't forget to breathe. I hope that doesn't go over anyone's head, but don't forget to breathe. When you wake up, don't forget to breathe.
Yeah.
Take time to actually breathe. Physical breathing, deep breaths for 1 minute, 2 minutes out the day, in for 4, out for 8. Like, just breathe.
I love it. Well, Brother Troy, it's always a pleasure to talk with you.
Yes.
Great pleasure to have you here,
Yes.
having great conversation. I'm confident, hopeful, and prayerful
Yes.
that everything that God got for you,
Yeah.
you continue to receive. You continue to walk in excellence and on purpose.
Yes.
I love you, bro.
Yes. I love you too,
Appreciate you
man.
pulling up.
For real. This was lovely. Can I pray for you, man?
Let's go for it.
Okay. All right, dear Heavenly Father, Lord, I thank you for this day. I thank you for this opportunity. I thank you for the forgiveness of sins, Lord. I pray you forgive us and forgive those who have sinned against us, Lord. I pray that we hold no grudges. I thank you for my brother Sam and for all that he's done and this platform that he has given for other people to be able to speak and to be able to share what's going on in their lives, Lord. I pray that what we get to share with him is uplifting not only to him and his family or whoever's around, but to those who are listening. Lord, we thank and praise you for all that you have done and continue to do in our lives, Lord. These prayers we ask in your son Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Yes. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Yes. I appreciate you.
You know the vibes.
Yeah, absolutely.
This has been Thinking Out Loud with Samuel David. We out.
Look both ways when you cross that street. Dot your I's and cross your T's. Measure twice, but cut once. Love life, live it up, bruh. Dream is good, do the work too. There ain't nothing you can't work through, and there ain't nothing I can't handle. There ain't nothing I can't handle. I look to the sky, and I thank God that I'm alive. I look to my wife, and I thank God she by my side. I've been through a lot, but I survived. It weighs on my heart from time to time, but there ain't nothing I can't handle.